today we're going to be completing the sunflower square as part of our 365 Granny Square a Day crochet along project. This one's gorgeous and sort of textured. We're doing some front loop and back loop work to get the petals to sit off nicely on the square. So let's get started. I've started with a magic ring, but of course you can do a chain of 4 or 5 and slip stitch them together to make the center. Then I've just done a chain of 2 as my first double crochet. We're going to do 12 double crochets into our magic ring and slip stitch them together for our center. I'm working with this gorgeous fluffy brown, which I have a feeling is going to prove a nightmare when I go to work in front and back loops, but that's okay, it's going to look great. So 12 double crochets in the center joined with a slip stitch. I'll see you back here in a moment. Okay, we're back. I've got 12 double crochets. I've closed up my magic ring. I'll work that tail in later. I do love the look of this fluffy wool. We're going to do a chain of 2 and then a double crochet into the same stitch. This round 2, consists of double crochet, working into the tops of the 12 double crochet from the previous round. We're going to do 2 double crochet in each. So each stitch from the chain each stitch from the previous round will have 2 double crochet. So at the end of this round we'll have 24 double crochet. So 2 in each stitch. Work your way all the way around back to the beginning and then join up into the chain stitch that we did to start the round with a slip stitch. Finish off with this colour because the next, well, if you want to, you could continue, but the next round we will start working on our petals. So yeah, you may want to finish off at the end of this one. 24 stitches in total for this round. Make sure that you keep track because if we don't have 24, we're not going to have 24 petals. So I'll see you back here in a moment. Okay, finished 24 stitches on the second row of the center. I've finished off with my first color. I've just joined on my second color to start doing the petals. So we're working front loop only. So I've just joined in a chain of 5. Then we're going to slip stitch, working back to create the petal, a slip stitch, then a single crochet, and then 2 half double crochets in the last 2 stitches. So 1, and I've got an extra one in there, 2, whoops. Okay, so we've got our first little petal. Now to work over to the next one, remembering we're only working in the front loop, I'm going to go into the front loop, slip stitch over, and then do a chain of 5. Get out of their tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 stitches. Go into first stitch with a slip stitch, So we can bring it back around on itself, slip stitch, then a single crochet, and 2 half double crochets. And we've got our second, oops, sorry, off camera, our second petal complete with the second half double crochet. And we slip stitch, remember front loop only, front loop only because we want those petals to sit, and that's a slip stitch into the front loop only, chain of 5. We're just going to follow that all the way around until we have 25 petals, and working in the front loop is going to make those petals sit off our square nicely. So 24 petals around, working in the front loops only. Finish it all off with a slip stitch into the original stitch there. I'll meet you back here, and we're finishing off with this colour. We're going to be working on the behind stitches to build the flower out into a square for rounds 4 to 6. So I'll see you back here when you have 24 petals. Alright lovelies, I'm back. We've got 24 cutesy little petals. I really do love this square. It's bright and fresh and fun. We've worked our petals into the front loops only of our centre. So now we're going to start working out the square, working in the back loops. Don't be tempted to turn your work around because it's easier. It's not going to look as good when you finish. So if you just fold your petals down, it's really easy to see where our loops are. And we're going to start working in traditional granny square. So stitch 1, 2, chain of 3 as our first double crochet, and then I'm going to do another 2 into that same back loop. 1 and 2. A chain of 1. Now we're going to skip 1 loop and go in to the second. With 3 double crochet. Remembering just working in the back loops so that our petals will sit up nicely on the front of the square. 3, 3 double crochet, chain of 1. We're going to skip a loop, go into the second with another 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Now we've got 3 sets of 3 double crochet, so we're going to make a corner. So we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Looking at the back, we're going to skip a loop, go into the second with 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. We're going to follow this pattern all the way around to create our 4 sides. So 3 double crochet in every second stitch, back loops only. Once we have 3 sets, we do a chain of 3 to form our corner. Continue this all the way around. Meet you back here when I've slip stitched and I'm ready to move on to round 5. Okay, got our cutesy little sunflower. Done row 4, starting to square off. So we've done our first row. Just going to, I've joined with a slip stitch. rather than turning my work to get to the next chain space, which is where we're going to be working, I just slip stitch through the top of those first stitches, slip excuse me, slip stitch through the top of those first stitches till I'm in the chain space. There we go. And we're back into 3 sets of 3 double crochet. Hold on, just check before we get started. That's just a chain 1 space, not a corner. Corner's here. So 3 double crochet. And any subsequent rounds now are done exactly the same. Single chain spaces have 3 double crochet in them. Corner ones have 2 sets of 3 with a chain of 3. So 3 and 1, 1 chain, another 3 double crochet into the next single chain space. Okay, now we're at a chain of 3, which is a corner. So we'll do a chain of 1 to finish off that set. Corner has 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. A chain of 3. And another 3 in the same chain space to create our corner. So whether you need to do another round after you've completed this one or another 2 rounds after this one, each round is done the same. Finish that with a chain of 1. We're at a chain 1 space, so 3 double crochet. We just continue working out in the same way, in the same pattern, until we've got it to the size that we desire. 3, chain of 1 until we get to a corner. You can see that it is starting to square out there. So I hope that you found this video helpful. Just, whoops, seasickness. There's a few ends to weave in with this one, but I think it's really worth it. It is a gorgeous square. Have a fantastic day and happy hooking, ladies.